already on Facebook?
No, we're not on Facebook yet. We're just recording here. Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone. You can put your cameras on and we're going to go live to Facebook in a minute. Thank you so much for joining all of you, and to be people for anyone who's on the fence as to whether or not they should be part of the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. We really appreciate you doing this. It's a testament to the fact that you're all loyal and amazing members of our community, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're going live to Facebook now. We're about to stream.
This is a casual conversation. We're going to see if people want to ask questions, and if not, we'll just do a little bit of like chatting with people amongst ourselves, and then people can listen in.
Okay, you can unmute yourself. Then, yeah, as you just said, it's kind of like a free-for-all discussion about Profit by Design Academy and your experience, and just sort of anything to do with the community and the course and our teachings. And
we're going to check to see who's on Facebook. So welcome. We just started streaming to Facebook. We are here doing this for the very first time. These lovely women here that you see on the screen have agreed to talk to you if you have any questions about their experiences in the Profit by Design Academy Bootcamp. And are you going to get the stream for the Facebook group as well, Jen? Oh, okay. So it's going to be a very casual interaction here. This is really to not just show you, if you're a new member to our community, as to how, when you're part of our community, you're going to be with us long term, because a lot of these wonderful ladies have been with us for 3 years since the beginning. And then others who have just joined but have really committed to the fact that they know that this is the place to be, that they know that we're not just here to sell courses, we're here to empower people, whether it's a male or female, right? Because I always say women, but there are a lot of men in the group. And we're here to help you make a business on the platform called Zazzle. And that's the only reason. We want to empower you. And we've been doing that with people from all over the world since 2016, Christmas 2016. And some of you maybe were part of that original 7 Days to Success course that I started way back when. And it's all the teachings and the principles of the 5 strategies are still the same. It just has a different name now. It's called the Profit by Design Academy, and we always update and keep things abreast in terms of new things happening on Zazzle. And boy, oh boy, there have been a lot of new things that have happened in the last couple of years, right? And so, yeah, Jen doesn't have the feed yet. So just if you're on Facebook, give us some time here. We're just trying to look, or should I pull it up here?
Sure, we can pull it up here on the computer. I don't know what's up with your computer. It's not.
Yes, my new computer is on order. It kept doing really weird things on me. So I finally said, I've got to bite the bullet. In the last couple of years.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So thank you so much for being on. And if you're, we have a couple people on, but they're not putting any comments in. If you'd like to put some comments in the chat and ask some questions, if you have anything like a burning question, like, is it worth the investment? What was your experience? How long did it take? What are you doing now? Like, how long have you been in the course and all that stuff? And you can, like, any of those questions are good questions, but in the meantime, while people are waiting, like, I take some time to type too. So we're going to wait for some questions. And if in the meantime, we're going to chat. So who's going to be first, and let us know.
Just open up the floor,
yeah, what your name is, and then just give us some feedback as to like what might people be interested in hearing, and your personal experience more so, because that's what resonates with people, as to how you feel about what you did when you signed up with us.
I'm going to go first because I started before the 7 Days to Success. I found your beginner course, which changed everything. I started Zazzle way back when, and they altered everything in the time that I was not on it. And your first course,
I think it was the ebook that you're talking about.
It was, yeah, maybe. It was and it was half price because Zazzle had changed again. And so I had to make up all the stuff I'd missed, and then the new stuff. Then you came with the 7 days, and then the beginner. That was the beginner course. Then the 7 days to success. Then we had the advanced course, which is now the PDA. And I have to tell you, it's essential if you're setting up a new store. It's essential to get the titles, the tags, all of it right. It's just I went back over the PDA course when I set up my newest store. And it just got set up correctly this time. So yeah, you need it. It's essential. It really is. And then join everything else after, because they're all just invaluable. Yeah. And we're all in everything else after, pretty much. I think it's so good.
You're talking about the membership, and then also the master.
Everything. Yeah. Wedding design boot camp, the designing boot camp, the PDA, the profitable, everything. And then the mastermind when you're ready for a real business push. Yeah. And
I think that speaks to you especially, because you sign up before you even know what it is.
Because I know the level of instruction. I know the level of this community. I mean, I'm in the mastermind that's now on a 2.0 because we loved each other working together so much. And half of them are now part of your team, Clarke. They're so good. It's just invaluable, the quality of folks. And especially as you get into the newer programs, you can't beat it.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara. And you even got your son involved now. He's also working on it,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Family affair, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Two of us. Yeah. Well, I love the fact that you said that you just signed up for everything, and you just keep going. Yeah. I think the key here is, like Barbara, when she talked about this new store, she's been working on her other store. It's doing quite well, but now she realized there's a niche opportunity because of the training that we did. Yep. And the fact that she just, went right back to the teachings of the Profit by Design Academy. I want to talk about that, because it's not just a course where you get a lot of information and then you go like, now what do I do? You literally can just walk through the training, and then by the time you're done the training, you set up your course and you've done all the things you need to do to get a business started on the Zazzle platform. And so even people who already know what they're doing, they just go back because it's so easy, step by step, fill it out, finish this, do that, make sure this is in place, and that's all in the course. I like to call it a done for you, like a do it course rather than just a learn it course. So I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything to that, but the fact that you said that just makes it so real for everyone else, hopefully, to understand the difference in the course type this is. It's not just about doing well in Zazzle, but it's also how it's structured, and Barbara, how long did it take you to get that store up once you did the PDA?
Oh, next to no time, because I knew what to do now. It teaches you the essentials, and you have to have it. Really
awesome.
Yeah.
Wendy.
Yes, I will have to say ditto to most everything Barbara just said. And I also just wanted to share that I came in with your very first course, brand new to Zazzle, no background in design, e-commerce, anything. And I knew I could see the potential. I needed a roadmap. I needed someone, I needed a proven path to follow. I didn't feel like I could figure it out all on my own, nor did I want to spend the time trying to figure it out all on my own. And all of the courses are laid out with the hands-on activities and what you need to do and why you need to do it. And even though sometimes you can't do it all at once, it's there. And when you're ready for it, you can go back and revisit it over and over until it starts working for you and things start gelling. And that's kind of the way it was for me. It was so overwhelming because I didn't know anything about really any of it. So without the courses, no, I would be probably still maybe a few $100s in a year's time. And it's just off the growth that I need because of, and I know that only because of the course.
Wow. So do you want to, we talk about you in our sales pitches because we're so happy and excited for you, and you've allowed us to share your success, especially in 2020. You just took off like crazy, right? Because you had, like Wendy's a student who's like more worried about doing something. She's not going to go ahead and do it unless it really is, you know, she can feel that it's the thing to do. But then after that, she's all in. So when she actually, it was to our mastermind, but obviously the Profit by Design Academy was first, and she did the boot camp, and then she'd made some money already, about $10,000, I think, with that. But then when she kept going in with the membership and then when we met in Australia just before COVID started last year, oh my gosh, that was the time where there was this one thing that was still kind of helping stopping her, and so we worked on that with her, and it was basically just understanding the numbers, which is that strategy number 5 that we always talk about. And because she's got the drive, she's got the determination, but she just needed to have all the steps in place so she could follow along, and then anywhere that she was stuck, we just kind of helped her out. And that's what we do with all of our students, wherever it is. Not everyone's going to be good at everything, right? And everyone has certain things that they come with that are maybe even like baggage, which not like that wasn't Wendy's case, but like other people have issues with mindset and figuring out how to set their goals up, and others have issues with creativity, and then others have issues with just like doing the basics, because it's like, I just want to get going, but it's like, no, you got to set out that foundation, you got to get that skill set, and it's like, that's boring, but in the end it's like, it's what is going to make it work for you, right? But I love that Wendy basically, like, she goes, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'll just do what you say. And like,
you know, that works.
And like $50,000 later in 2020 earned. Way to go, snap, snap, girl. Yeah. So from February to the end of last year in 2020, that's what happened. And so we're really proud of her.
Thank you.
And she had shoulder surgery and all kinds of other stuff. And she's just like a trooper, right? All obstacles are not something that are going to stop her.
It's doable, even if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Who's Melissa and Claire are on a tie. So who wants to go first?
I'll go.
So you go.
So like Wendy was saying about not wanting to have to go through it all without some help, I actually took the alternate path. I was on Zazzle for 10 years, casually, without any help, and trying to sort of stumble my way through it. It's like, oh, maybe I'll make $17 at some point. This could work, right? I don't know how to make invitations or anything else. I'm just going to put characters on pillows and hope for the best. And let me tell you, that's a very long path that you actually don't need to go through now. At that time, the courses didn't exist, but one of my favorite things about the courses, the PDA and everything else is the structure. If you have a question in a specific area, it's probably been answered in a basic way where you can actually find the answer, you can implement the answer, and then you can walk away. You don't have to spend 2 days or a week trying to figure out how some part of the design tool works or what type of keywording you should use. It's just so much simpler than trying to do this on your own. And the amount of time you save yourself is easily worth the money. That's one of the big things that I would say. Just, you can save yourself so much grief. It doesn't actually happen because you have the answer, or somebody else in your program has the answer, and they will share it with you. Mm-hmm. So you could just skip that. Please skip that.
All the grief.
And also all the grief. And also the people in the programs are amazing. Just any program you go to, you're going to meet incredibly capable people in various aspects of this business. And everyone has something to share that strengthens everybody else. Mm. And the PDA is a really good place to start in on that. And even if you think, well, you know, I'm not that far along, I'm not sure if I'm ready for this, or other people have stores that look better than mine, and I don't know if I'm ready to go into this. You're ready because you're interested. And also, even if you don't think your stuff is as good as somebody else's, that's just a matter of time. You're going to get better. You'll be amazed at the progress in your store and your products. and it's going to happen much faster than you think.
Wow. That's all that needs to be said. Melissa's a perfect example of that. She is an incredible artist and just was, like you said, making $17
and I can make the same amount in a month now easily that I was making in a year on Zazzle without even questioning it. So that's a huge change.
Love it, love it, love it. And I love how you spoke to community. That's one of the things that we're as passionate about as the empowerment of others. We're not just here to like give you some information and you go take off. We are so excited to be able to be involved in people's journeys all the way through from start to wherever they decide to go. And I think that's the key as well, is that building of community and knowing that you've got somewhere where you can go and get answers, and that people also care for you. And it's not just Jen and I and our team, it's the people in the community. We've got this is one of the things we really wanted to do when we started this, was to create this group of people that are all striving for the same thing in terms of making some money on Zazzle, but also that we are empowering others, and we're leading with the empowering of others. And then our groups are like, the people in our group are actually mirroring that and empowering others, and while they're empowering themselves, because the gift of service is actually the greatest gift you can give, because you also receive so much back, right? Just from helping. And that community that I was involved with on Zazzle, and maybe some of you have experienced it with the forums and stuff, it's a tough one. That's all I'm going to say. And we wanted something different. We wanted to say, like Melissa said, like, if you have a question, maybe they'll answer you, right? More than likely, someone will step up, and they're doing it just out of the goodness of their heart, because they feel that they're welcome and supported within our community as well. So they actually like just literally do the same thing, and they are also supportive. And the only reason that this happens is because you're serving more than you're taking. And by serving more than you're taking, you're actually receiving. And I love that. I think that's huge for me, because it restores my sense of our belief in human kindness, which is something I really truly want to spread across the world, that we're all here to support each other, and that there's more than enough for everyone. Mm-hmm. So thank you for bringing that up, Melissa. Okay, Claire, did you want to?
Yeah, I'll go. I was gonna just go on what Melissa said about like the community, and like I joined your course back in spring of 2018, and I kind of dabbled for a couple of years. I kind of did it as a bit of a side hustle. I think I made about $2,000 by last spring, and then COVID hit, and my other business kind of took a dive. So I thought, right, I'm all in, and I've spent more time over the last year with these people than I have with my family. Obviously, because we haven't been able to see anybody, have we? So we've been in lockdown. And the boot camp just makes you kind of focus your attention for those 10 weeks. Whereas I kind of drifted, I'd go and do a couple of modules, go away, come back. And I think that kind of working with everybody and doing it all together just makes you put the focused effort in. So like my income in the last year is 10 times what I made in the 2 years before. So, and it's just because like, yeah. And like Melissa said, like if you have a question, like someone has an answer. If it's not in the course, which most of it is, then there's always someone to ask. And I just love with the PDA, it's your business plan. You start at the start, you get to the end, you go back to the beginning again, and you just go round and round in a loop.
Yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. That was my intention. It's like, once you're done, it's actually even like if you want to go every 30 days, because we actually give you plans and stuff like that for that. Mm-hmm. And so you're all set to go. You just keep following the plan. So I love it. You said so many great things. Yeah. Claire. Thank you so much, Claire, for sharing. Yeah, and I love it too, because you've just taken on a lot of energy in the group too, and you're just like all in, and you're so excited. And coming from like you could have chosen a different way, right? You could have chosen to get angry or upset because something that was really working for you online just tanked all of a sudden in COVID. And instead you just go like, wow, this is another opportunity for you to just spread out so that your eggs are not all in one basket, for example, but also go with something that's very timely in the sense that it's not being affected by COVID, which I think a lot of people have that fear, right? They've just been burned already once, maybe in the last year. And now they're like, well, should I really do this? And what happens if this happens again? Well, I want to speak to that because there's really never a guarantee, but you can always hedge your bets, as they say it, right? You can say, what's out there right now? Well, people are shopping online more because they're all stuck at home, like you mentioned. And also the Zazzle marketplace is really unique. It's very different than the other e-commerce based platforms that you can be part of. And like we're working from home, right? So my phone's just ringing with the next carpet, or duct cleaning service. So sorry about that. But yeah, the whole idea here is that, is this a viable business that we can latch onto for the next foreseeable future? And this is the same question I had back in 2008 when there was a housing crisis and nobody actually shopped online. And it's like, this is a perfect business model, but no one's shopping online. Should I go for it? And I did. And I'm really glad that I did, because it's obviously paid off for me. And now if I had to make that same decision again now, there would be like absolutely no choice, like no even decision about it. It's just like, I'm in, because there's very little that's a negative, right? In terms of how to be safe about deciding which type of business to go into. And it's such a unique platform. It's been around for 15 years plus. They're a family-oriented company. They still haven't sold out in terms of getting being on the stock market or anything like some other of the print-on-demand companies have done. And so I think they have a lot of really good core values, and they always give back. They always do things like partner with people in either with disadvantaged women, single moms, or with Africa, or somewhere where there's a need where people can be empowered and through that business model, and so that they can partner and allow people to, make money doing something worthy through their platform, like the Aphrodite shoes and whatnot. And there's so many things through the years that Zazzle's done, which has made me think, okay, this is not just a money grab platform. So I'm gonna make a really maybe I shouldn't, but something about Jeff Bezos, I'll just keep it to myself. But but it's a business model, and it's a really good solid foundation that it's built on. And that for me says, okay, I can put my effort behind it and make sure I feel good that I'm using this as my way to put that effort in, because we all just have a limited amount of time. You might as well put the effort in where it's going to pay off most likely, right? So I have to take a drink. Thank you so much, Claire. I guess you're having trouble with your camera, or your kitties are coming to say hi. But I really appreciate what you said. Do we have any questions that we should address?
People are just saying hello and stuff. So if anybody's online on Facebook watching, we are streaming live with some of our wonderful PDA alumni ladies here. And so if anybody has any questions about the Profit by Design Academy or the boot camp, then write them in the chat on Facebook, and you can ask our alumni. It's like a discussion panel.
Yeah.
And anybody else who wants to share in our group here, because online people are just saying hello at this point.
Christy, you want to go?
Yes, I'll go. I think one of my favorite parts is the fact that it's always new. Even though it's the same information, you always get new stuff from it every time you go through it. Mm-hmm. And I think I try to go through it a couple times a year. So try to do it at least certain modules. I try to hit maybe once every other month to make sure I'm not forgetting certain things, especially with analysis. And I think that being able to go through the PDA with a group, being able to ask those questions as you're going through it, especially the first time, I think is valuable, because as you go through it, you'll always have some questions. something will always pop up, or something new will come into your head and you'll think about it. And it's just nice to be able to ask a question on those weekly calls where you can get those answers that you need, or through the Facebook too. So,
yeah.
It's true. And I think that Chrissy makes a really great point, because we're here to support you, not just to get you started, but we're here to support you as you grow in your business and as your business grows. And those are two different things. Like, one is your knowledge base, your skill sets, and your ability to deliver on people's, what people want to buy. But it's also about when your business grows and you start to make more money, there's more challenges and different questions that you have that you may not have had when you're first doing a startup, right? And so the course is lifetime access. You always get the Kajabi platform, which is where it's hosted, as a way for you to ask questions. Even though the boot camp only lasts for 10 weeks, afterwards you've got lifetime access to not only the coursework, but also that ability to ask another question. So you're in the module, you're listening to another lesson. 5 years from now, hopefully we're going to keep going, keep getting bigger and helping more people. But just imagine that, and then you can actually ask the question. You're still getting supported. That's huge, right? And I think the other thing that's kind of fun is you get to see the history of whatever everyone else asked, and it makes you feel good. It's like, oh, I'm not the only one who asked that question, or it's already answered for me, yay. And so we're really building a very solid foundational library of, and also we love the feedback. So if there's something that's changed or needs help, more explanation and so on, we're always updating the course. So yeah, as Barbara mentioned, she's trying to keep up with us in terms of what we call, I think we're going to stop changing the name, but it's always going to get an update every so often when it's necessary. And so you're all going to get that every time, as soon as you're part of our member, like our community that's bought the course. So that's really important. And I don't know, it's just really wonderful to hear all the things. I didn't pay anybody here. They're all here on their own fruition. They're all here because they want to help you understand that the breaking point here is your belief that it'll work for you. And all of these wonderful people here have just tried to explain to you all the advantages and what you get, and what's happened in terms of their transformation in their lives. And I think what you need to understand is that you may not feel at this point comfortable because of some of the things that have happened to you, and you're just kind of like, I'm not sure. Are you not sure about your own ability? Are you not sure about if this is going to work for you, or even if you want to do it? But the idea here is you've got to give it a try, because you've been watching and listening and being part of our challenges, and you tried to do the store on Zazzle. So take the perception of your mind, like your mindset, and instead of saying, oh, it's the DIY effect, right? Like you think, okay, I can save some money not buying hiring that plumber for $100 an hour just for him to come and tell me my sink is leaking. And then it's another $100 just to get the work done or whatever. That's where we all go, right? Especially with all these like DIY shows and everything like that. It was like, we can do this ourselves and we don't have to pay any more money. Zazzle's free. So we should be able to do this. It's easy. But then when you go and try, all of a sudden you realize it's not working for you. And then it's like, but now I have to admit that it didn't work for me on my own. And so that's a big thing. And so we honor and respect that. We totally get that. Well, there's no shame here. There's no judgment. The key here is how fast do you want something to work? And that's always my carrot and my stick, like the carrot on the stick in front. It's like, wow, in this day and age, it's the least effort in terms of getting into this business. There's the most help. It's the best time ever. There's more shoppers online than ever before. If there's got to be a chance for me, this is going to be it. But I better hurry up and get it done faster than just trying it on my own. Because what, Melissa, 14 years or something? Yeah, 10. Sorry, 10. Yeah. So I think that's part of the whole idea, is just to say, hey, it's okay to get help, and it's actually a wise investment on your part. You put stock, look at the stock market, you put money in the stock market if you have the money, or you bought Bitcoin, you were net, like those are investments, right? You didn't have any guarantees. This one has actually, like, we don't give guarantees, because we can't, otherwise it's be against the law, but we do as much as we can to guarantee your success as, with support and the right teachings. And you've got all these lovely people in front of you right now that basically are telling you it's working. Mm-hmm. So you can't do more than that. Who did we lose here? We lost somebody.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I about the investment, for me, the first couple of times was a big stretch for me. But what I realized is I'm investing in my own, in my upgrading of skills. I'm investing in my business, really comprehension of how to do a business properly, especially an online business, because you can get all kind of stories about how to do an online business. I've seen a lot of them. This one actually works. And it's really the investment in your whole skill level, which would take you, as Melissa said, months, weeks to do on your own. So yeah, the investment is worth it, and you'll be better trained when you're done.
I like that. We've also heard from many students who said that once they got the training here, they started treating it, everything that they do as a business, not just a hobby. And the business training here in the Zazzle, the Profit by Design Academy course, even though it's geared towards Zazzle, it also creates it's business training. And so they were able to apply it to Redbubble and to KDB Publishing and their Etsy store and even some Amazon merch. And so it's great. I really appreciate you bringing that up, Barbara. Okay, who's?
I'll go. If that's all right. Okay. I would echo what Barbara said. I totally agree that anytime you're undertaking a new business, and this is a new business, being on Zazzle, it is your own business. You're going to have to pay something to get into your business and start it up right. And it's just the way that business is. When you look at the costs, you can buy a franchise for what, tens of thousands or six figures or whatever. This is super inexpensive in comparison. And I say that because I struggled too at first with the price. Can I pay that? I just lost my job. Thank you, COVID. And it's like, I need to watch my pennies. I need to make the best use of my money right now. Is this the best use of my money? And I thought, yes, I want to treat this as a business. I want to dive wholeheartedly in. So I did. I got all the things, bought into all of the programs, and it's been so worth it. The biggest one, though, the linchpin for everything else is PDA, Profit by Design Academy. And even after I started on that last summer on my own, what I found is I would pick and choose which modules do I really want to learn about, which ones do I really feel I need right now. And so I was just cherry picking. It got me a little bit started, but it wasn't really until I did the boot camp, just finished this month, that I went through all of it. Well, there's an idea. And all of it was valuable. I would have done things differently last summer had I gone through all of it then and figured out, what needed to be done. So it just, when you purchase the program, it cuts the learning curve time, just like so many here were saying, Melissa and Barbara and others too. You're shortening your learning curve and you're getting up to speed much quicker, maybe by years or decades even. And so when you look at it as an investment in yourself, in your business, in your future, I think it's a no-brainer. And it's been totally worth it. I actually started down the Zazzle path, 3-4 years ago with your very first course, 7 days. And I went at it in fits and starts. I was working a full-time job and just didn't have the wherewithal to devote to it. And then after losing a job last a year ago, it's like, okay, I really want to have my own business. I don't want to have to rely on other people anymore or other companies or corporations or whatever it is. I want to know about my own future. I don't want to be hit with, oh, by the way, you're losing your job today. I want to know what's going on with my life and to plan accordingly and to ramp it up as much as I want to. financially wise. So that was kind of how it all played out for me. But if you're on the fence, if you're thinking, do I, don't I would say just go for it. PDA and boot camp, when you have the chance, it's so worth it.
Thank you so much, Kris, for sharing. You didn't say that to me before, that you lost your job. So that was even more. She just went all and she went shopping. She was like, what else do you have that I should buy?
I did. It's like, okay, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it upright. And I knew that the material I'd be getting would be top notch, because it just always is with whatever Elka and Jen do. And I knew I'd get the thorough training, and I knew I'd get the support. I knew I'd get answers to any questions I had along the way in whatever form I wanted to ask them in. So yeah, it was totally worth it. So that's just kind of how I learn. I want it all right now, and then I'll go through it, and now I'm letting things gel. But it's been super valuable, all of it, all along the way, PDA and boot camp especially.
Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear. Yeah, well, that makes it even more significant that you invested. It's like, oh my gosh, I hope I did a good job of helping her out. But yes, you did. You said, this is the way I am. It's like, oh man, yeah, how much it was, valuable that was for you to make that commitment.
I think that really resonates with a lot of people, especially last year with losing jobs or being cut down to hours, or the uncertainty that maybe next week you won't have a job, right?
Yeah.
Right now you do, but there might be something more into the lockdown or just cutbacks, and it's scary. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. That's really awesome that you're really enjoying it, and that it's doing well for you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing, Kris.
We have some other ladies who want, do we have any questions?
Well, we actually had one question. I have to read. There's a couple other ones, but one of the question was, can someone speak a bit more about like launching their store or starting out from the beginning, and how things started to move with momentum, and especially with, they said how to do like post products and get them seen outside of SEO. But I messaged them and I said, you need to have good titles and tags. And we definitely cover that in the Profit by Design Academy.
Yeah.
But if anybody wanted to start out and maybe say after they took the PDA and they realized how important, SEO and the structure of the business was, how important it was for your business, then maybe you actually started to see results quite quickly afterwards. Because I know a lot of Zazzle designers, sometimes even myself at the beginning, I didn't realize the importance of SEO and titles and tags, and making sure that the products are put in the right place in the marketplace. Because if you have an amazing design and you don't have the right titles and tags, you probably will never be found, which is unfortunate, but you need to really pay attention to that. And we do dive deep into that, into the Profit by Design Academy.
Just before even anyone says something though, like, it's not like, it's like, ooh, let's do titles and tags right now. But as everyone here has noticed, it's all dependent on your own niche, your own products, how you want to leverage them, and all that stuff. And it's been so specific. So whoever's asking that question, it's not a general answer.
No, yeah.
And that's the thing that people, they always want quick fixes, right? We're already doing so many quick fixes for you in the Profit by Design Academy. But the quick fix is not sometimes just you doing the work with the guidance of people who have a lot of experience as to how what you need to have done well. And so that's really important for anyone to understand. It's not a give me the 5 products to make, or give me the 10 titles and tags I can use and I'll just blow up this Zazzle platform with all my sales. It's not going to be like that. It's very specific on the target market that you choose to deliver your services on. But anyway, who wants to talk?
I can sort of talk to that and tie in a little of my experience, but I think so. I actually had my own business before that I built up, so I was familiar with selling online, familiar with a bit of CEO. I even was dabbling in Zazzle since 2008 with the postage stamp. So I've been, kind of playing around on there. And then the postage stamps tanked and I'm like, oh, I kind of missed that little teeny bit of extra money I had, and started looking into ramping it up to as something to go side by side with my other business too. And so I was nitpicking through everything I could find, trying to learn everything I could find about Zazzle, found your YouTube things and was going through all those things one by one, the free stuff for a while. And had gotten, a little bit of headway. And I kept thinking, you know, with seeing the PDA ads, I'm like, well, I already do design. I've already had my own business. I already know my niche. So I've already started a Zazzle store. I'm already like halfway there. I'm already getting somewhere, I could tell. So I was like, and I'm not a perpetual course buyer or anything. I've never even spent that much money on literally anything. But I was like, well, there must be something, and this is probably the investment in this sort of business. And so I bit the bullet on the PDA, and I did it at the same time as the boot camp. So it was PDA boot camp, just straight through week by week. That was, I think, 2019 in the fall. But I was glad. I was really, I mean, obviously I'm still here, but monthly membership, a year and a half, mastermind later, still here. I've been through the PDA stuff a couple more times on my own and with a boot camp walkthrough. And the thing is, even all those things I remember saying, I know this and that, and I can do it. I'm a habitual researcher. I'll figure it out on my own person, like to the nth degree. But I'm really glad because it saved a lot of time and probably shortcut, you know, a lot of kind of stepping stones to success in that way. But while I was going through the course, I remember thinking, especially some of the store setup modules and what I'd say like the basics SEO, the basics to design. I remember thinking this is absolutely amazing for someone who's just walking in with zero of any of those previous experiences. And it wasn't, you know, I was like, this is fantastic. I could set my husband down if he wanted to join in at any point, you know, or even, you know, my 7-year-old at the time, he did sit down and watch a little bit and he started his own thing. I mean, so it's if you don't, I say almost especially if you don't have previous experience, it's, you know, 10,000 times worth it. Even if you think you have a whole bunch of experience that's relevant and on the platform, it's still, I mean, definitely worth it. Just because there's a lot of specific details about Zazzle, and the course has lots of, you know, specific instructions for how to on Zazzle, and how to and in the boot camp and some of the other things, how to learn to do things in the future for when your store grows, which is another thing where you keep coming back when you need to know what to do next, how to grow it after a certain point. Then, you know, there is even some of that in there. So it's not so beginner. It does start at the beginning, but there's a ton in there to where you still just, it's applicable for a long, long time, even just a different niche or a different store or even a different product, period. You know, if you never put anything on a t-shirt, you learn ways to figure out what to do with the t-shirt. So
that's wild. I really love that you said that, because that was the aim, like the way we set it up is that it's very simple to use. You can go back, you can get your 7-year-old to watch your husband. I love the husband part. Yeah, because why not, right? You're a team. You're like, there's many of the people that started on Zazzle and then their husbands or their wives get involved as well. And it's like, this is cool, let's do it. And I love that you said that it was so easy for people to, even if they're starting from scratch, but that also for you, who you thought you knew everything and you researched it, is like, this is amazing. I still got value out of it. And I love that, because some people think, oh, well, I'll skip that first part. But there's so many things that you can learn for each stage of the business that you're in. And like you said, you're still here now. You're enrolled in even more stuff.
Well, I love that Kate said that it starts you from the beginning, like you said, but it's so, there's so much stuff in it, and that no matter at what level of being on Zazzle you're at, it's still applicable to you because we've packed in so many amazing things. But also a lot of Zazzle designers, when they first start out, even if they've been on for years, or if they think that they're a seasoned designer, they come into our course and then they say, wow, I didn't even realize that this was supposed to be set up this way.
Yeah.
And I should have done this way back when, because I've lost so many years now because I set it up in a way that doesn't make sense anymore, or that it's not actually, planning for the future. And that's why Elka created the course that way. But so many of our students have said that to us.
In fact, we have a platinum pro designer that we're interviewing. It's going to come out in a podcast a couple of weeks from now, if not next week, I can't remember. And she's the same way. She says, like, I just needed to get back to the basics. I needed to figure out, and then and there's so many things that I didn't do, even though she'd gotten to platinum is what, $250,000 in earnings. And she says that the course is the most valuable thing she's ever done. And she's been on Zazzle since it started as well.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very good at, like, she's licensing her artwork all over the place. I mean, it's going to be in the public anyway. So like Audrey Jean Roberts, she's always a person that I looked up to when I first started on Zazzle. And so it was really interesting that the tables turned, that I was able to help her, because I was just so inspired by her when I first started to think I'd love to do that, because I do watercolor and stuff like that as well. And so, yeah, so she's just, her story is incredible. She really got affected by COVID. She was down to like $500 a month after being at 5,000-ish a month. And now because of the Profit by Design Academy, she's moved back up she's got over 3,300 now, was her last month's earnings. And then she hopes that very soon she can be back to the 5,000 level. And it's really, really wonderful to hear that it's not just for beginners. But beginners can do it, and they're not overwhelmed by it. And then when you go back to the next level, when you need the next thing in your business as you grow, you can go and find it there too. And even though you didn't think like you missed it, or it was too overwhelming to start with when you first did it.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's the leveraging. That's the whole thing that you make so important a point on. It's leveraging how to use what's already there, leveraging your categories, leveraging your collections, leveraging what freaking order to put your tags in and your title words in, all of that. It's leveraging. Who'd have thought that was important? Elka and Jen did. I mean, it's amazing. So I look at all of that now, what I never did before. Yeah, but it's leveraging what's already sitting there.
Yeah, because Barbara also had some really amazing things, but they just weren't being seen.
Yeah.
As soon as we fixed the tags, they were starting to sell. And yeah. Like the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, but go through it more than once, and each time it sinks in. Do the boot camp more than once. Each time it sinks in. Take the advanced courses beyond that. Each time it sinks in.
Well, each time as well, you learn something. It sinks in, but then you also learn something new, and because you've progressed in your journey, and you know how to use that information better and do something different, right? Yeah.
And it's a business expense. If it's going to fast track you, you're going to make more within that year's time when taxes come due. You write it off, and it balances out in the long run. If you invest in that and do it, the payoff's going to be there, and then it's going to be a wise investment.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing that. We actually don't talk about that too much. It could be a tax write-off.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's definitely a tax write-off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just set yourself up as a sole proprietor. If some of you already done an LLC or incorporated, you can do that too, but only if it makes sense financially, because you have to pay a lot of lawyers and accountants all the time. But in the meantime, you can be a sole proprietor, and you can write those things off, including the investment of courses and training. Do Judy and Michelle want to say something?
Yeah, I'll go. So I sound like Melissa, or Melissa sounds like me. I was on Zazzle for 6 to 7 years, fumbling by myself. I have said to Elk and Jen before that being an artist, I don't think I have the side of the brain that knows business. And I don't know if I have that side of the brain that knows business or if I want to have it.
Probably. I don't want to have it either.
I don't want it's, but I thought I could do it by myself. I mean, how hard is it to open a Zazzle store? They have blogs, they have tutorials, they have all this stuff that shows you how to do it. So I fumbled for 6 to 7 years and made a couple $100 here and there, and got frustrated and totally deleted a whole bunch of products and restarted because I figured out I did it wrong. 6, 7 years later, I all of a sudden see one of Jen and Elk's courses on Facebook, and my whole life has changed in the last year. Like if I knew what I had to do 6 years ago, my business would be up and running and life would be so, I would have saved 6 years and a whole ton. I would have saved so much money, or I would have made so much more money in 6 years that I missed out on because I didn't know what I was doing pretty much. And part of it, if anyone's feeling that maybe you're scared to ask for help, or I have to admit, I worked in the corporate world in a very high position. So I really should have been able to open my own store. I was a little embarrassed to actually say, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so whether you're embarrassed to say you don't know what you're doing, or you just got to do it. I have products that have been in my store for 6 or 7 years that no one could find. And now by doing a little design tweak, titles and tags tweaks, they're selling in a week. And like Melissa, in 1 month, I made what I did in a total of 6 to 7 years.
Okay, can you say that again?
In 1 month on Zazzle, after Jen and Elt's help, I made a total of what I've made in 6 to 7 years. In 1 month. So, and I've said to Jen before that I would probably be a millionaire if I found them 6 to 7 years ago.
Of course.
I would.
Why not?
So it's definitely, I mean, it's a no-brainer. You have to do it.
Yeah, no, Judy's absolutely crushing it. And then the first time that you came into our course, you actually were all in as well. You signed up for the PDA and then you did the mastermind. And I remember our first session where you're like, I actually have I don't know how to do the business. Numbers are not my friend. And I'm much more of an artist than anything. And I'm just totally lost. And I think you almost were very doubtful that it was going to work for you.
Yeah.
But we showed you, because you don't have to be a genius for business to build a Zazzle business. You just need to know what works properly rather than just fumbling, like you said. And the worst part is that a lot of Zazzle designers, they take a long time to figure things out, and bringing it back to community and just that the fact that you can ask any questions, right? We always say, as soon as you come into a call with us, whether it be in a mastermind or even in the boot camp, no question is a stupid question, because
and we don't hold back either. We're all in for you.
It would be,
why not, right?
It would take, if it would take you a week to figure something out, but 10 seconds for us to give you the answer, why would we not give you the answer, right? And because that's the whole point, is we're here to help you build a business, and everybody's brain works differently. And as you said, you were embarrassed at the beginning to even admit, because you were in the corporate world, but there's no shame in that at all, because it's very different from anything, right? So, but I'm super proud of Judy. I'm very proud of all of you, but everybody's journey is different. And it's just really interesting to hear where people come from. And the fact that Judy now has made more in 1 month than in her 6 or 7 years on Zazzle. That's absolutely amazing. So yeah. Thanks for sharing, Judy.
I would just like to agree with everything that's been said and say that I started as a complete beginner. I had no idea what I was getting into on Zazzle. I come from a craft work background, so I made everything by hand. And I could turn on the computer, but that was about it. So this has been a huge learning curve. And if I hadn't found Elke and Jen, I wouldn't have been able to do it. All I had was a belief that I could do it. I didn't know how. And so all the courses, I've been on every course, I think. I keep going over them again. I keep learning, and it's it's available to people who don't even know how to switch on a computer, almost. You do need to know that. But the other part that was mentioned earlier is the community, especially in this in 2020 in lockdown. This community has been a lifeline for a lot of people. And the amount of extra effort and help everybody gives each other has really been a heartwarming experience to go through. So I'm really in favor of this and any other course you design.
Thank you, Michelle. I know Michelle came to us in 2019 when we were in Mallorca for our first in-person mastermind. And first of all, the fact that you trusted us to come and meet us in person was absolutely amazing. And I remember that you were just starting out and you had done mosaics and you were much more skilled in like handcraft work than anything with the computer. And I remember that you were just very confused about everything tech savvy wise. And now you're creating your own watercolors, you're scanning them, you're using Photoshop, you're using all of the layers in the Zazzle design tool and creating these absolutely amazing designs. They're just stunning. And if I would have told you that you were going to do those things 2 years ago, you would probably think I was crazy. Yeah. At one point, I actually told you that you need to, I see Michelle being like on Skillshare or something, teaching people how to do watercolor classes. And she was like, no way. But, but still, you've just come so far. And it's absolutely amazing. The fact that now you're able to actually see these things come to, fruition and that they can be possible for you. When I think that you had a lot of self-doubt in terms of the tech stuff. So,
Well, I also love it that you was one email that said, hey, I think you'd be really good for this mastermind. And you were like about to quit on the Zazzle platform and quit because you'd taken the PDA and you just weren't getting it done. And so sometimes we have to remember that we're here to help you in all different ways. And it doesn't really matter, like if you have to go through a certain stage, like Kris too. She started more so when, she started flourishing when she became part of our mastermind. But that, we're not trying to sell you a mastermind here, but we're trying to say that we're here for you, whichever way it is that is necessary. And it'll click at one point. It's just, you have to also take your own journey. And, but I loved the fact that when we said that to Michelle, she goes like, it's so weird. My husband said I could go. He's never said that to me about anything like big like that. There was all of a sudden a plane ticket available and this place that was available. It's like, for some reason I needed to be with you in person. And during that time, like she kept saying over and over again afterwards, you've just changed my life. You've transferred my life. And I didn't even do anything yet. And she says, you believed in me. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, I'm going to cry again. It's just, that's the most important thing, is we believe in all of you, even though you don't believe in yourself yet. And whatever way it is, like we keep building more things out for people to be part of so that they can finally get over what it is that's stopping them from being amazing on the platform and earn that money that they deserve. Because that's what we're here for, is we're all here for the same goal, is to have that goal of ours that is everyone's is unique as to how we see our lives earning money online, being creative, or even not being creative, because some of our students that are actually the top people are not even that creative, but they just go like, this is a really good business model. I got to take advantage of this. Like that's Brendan, for example. And Brendan, if you don't know who he is, he's one of our students who's made over $100,000 in lifetime earnings. And he was not like, he can do it, but he's not going to come up with his own creative idea. Now he's getting better because he took all the design modules in the Profit by Design Academy. So, but I love the fact that people are willing to trust us. And so thank you so much, all of you. We don't want to keep you any longer, but Michelle, you just like ended it off so nicely with making sure that everyone realizes we're here because we're here as a community and we're all excited. Like especially Jennifer and I are always holding space for each and every one of you to be the best that you can be, because we believe in you. Mm-hmm. And we understand there's like, things that you have to get over, things that you might not like, admitting to hard work that you're going to have to do that you might not want to. But we're here for you whenever you're ready. And that's what we want to also tell everyone else who's thinking about buying and enrolling in the course. You don't need to enroll today. It's not going to change how we feel about you. When you're ready, you're going to be able to enroll when you're going to learn, because that's why we even set up the boot camp, is what some of you ladies here admitted to, which is perfectly fine, that you didn't actually even do the course until you were like forced to do the course with the PDA boot camp,
or felt comfortable doing it in a group, right?
Yeah,
because it
exactly.
feels really good to do it in a community as well, and to be part of something bigger.
Because how many courses have I done where there's no community and we don't go through the course at a certain time?
I don't even want to know the number of courses.
Tell me.
I don't know, probably like 100 or more.
I'm a serial course addict. First of all, I just love taking courses. Yeah. That's my thing. I like learning.
I've actually told her she's not allowed until she
when I watch another
with me.
Yeah, when I watched another free webinar, she goes like, "I'm hiding your purse." but the key is that I just feel good that I bought it, so because I can at some point when I'm ready go look at it. But that's ridiculous, because like, who said it? Many of you said it. Like, I would have been so much better off had I actually done the course. Maybe my life would even be better. And so that's what we want you to understand is here, this boot camp's happening now. We're not going to do another one till September. And so when's the time that is ready for you? We're going to be here for you. But if you feel like, oh, I should really do this because I don't want to miss out, because I really probably would never go through the course on my own, then this is the time to enroll in before Friday, because that's when we stop enrollment.
Yeah. Yep.
So thank you so much, every one of you, for joining. I don't know if there's anything else you want to fill up.
Some people are just asking questions in terms of times for weekly things that are happening.
We'll handle that. But
I don't know if anybody wants to say.
Thank you so much.
I bow
down to you, because you know what? First of all, it's courageous for you to come on board, tell about your story, and I really appreciate the authenticity here, because that's what we're all about. We're here all together to do the best that we can and get to the goals that we want to get to, and we're supportive and helping each other do that. And for me, that's just a bonus that you are all doing well, and it just makes my heart glow. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're super happy to have you. And I think who is it, Claire, or even, well, Michelle, everybody that's on these calls, we've seen them basically every single day since COVID, and we just feel like such a family because of all of the things that we've set up within our groups. And it's just so wonderful to not only have seen your progress, but also just to be in your company too. You're all a wonderful woman, and men too in our groups and our other masterminds that we have, and just getting to know you on a more of a personal level. We absolutely really appreciate that. And the fact that we can create that experience for you, it feels amazing. Yeah.
I know. And what we do afterward, like while we're not working, we're all still going like, isn't it amazing that, Melissa's doing so well, or that Judy's doing so well, or that, Michelle learned this new technology, like new thing. She's like rocking it on the computer now, all that stuff. That's what we like. We sort of feed off of that, I think.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, why one of the reasons why the community works so well is because we care a lot about everyone else's journey. And we're so glad that you're able to let us be part of it.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies, for joining us. Thank you, everyone else who is listening on the Facebook group, and whoever's watching this later as a replay. Make sure that if you're going to be in the part of the group, boot camp, you have to be in before April 23rd, midnight PST, which is this coming Friday, if you're watching this before then. And if afterwards, then you'll have an opportunity to sign up for the next boot camp when it happens in September or October. We have yet to decide when it's going to start. So keep going with what you're doing. It's amazing. Keep it up. We're so proud of you. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for joining us on this discussion. I'll see you later. Bye.